Hey everyone, it's me, Balo Sparks, and I'm back at you with a new and brand new What If. This one's gonna be, what if Deku had no longer human from Bongo Stray Dogs? And we all know who the wielder of this ability is from. It's, from Danzai. We all know Danzai, the suicidal maniac, who's also really smart and pretty brutal as well. And a really skilled fighter once you think about it. Deku, now let's get to it. Deku will have this quirk in the My Hero Academia world. And when Deku turns 5, he goes to the quirk doctor and they examine his quirk. Examine him as that he has a quirk, but it's not it's not a type of quirk that's actually helpful for him. It does good for support, but it does not really help him. It does help him in a way, but not in every way. Inko says, "What do you mean by this? What do you mean by it helps him only in one way, but not in that way? What do you mean by it?" His quirk, and the doctor says his quirk is capable of neutralizing quirks. It's only capable of nullifying quirks. It's not a quirk meant for fight. Not a quirk that can be useful. Not a really good quirk that can be useful in fights or countering others who have quirks that can strike him down. Deku is pretty much disappointed. It's pretty much, well, actually, not really sad about it. Even though his quirk is not as like All Might or like or a quirk that enhances his strengths or anything like that. He's actually really happy that he has a quirk that can be useful. That can actually like give support. He is disappointed that his quirk doesn't actually make him stronger or faster. So or pretty much doesn't do anything else but nullify other quirks. Deku is okay. It's okay with this. So yeah. So you see, Deku can activate no longer human, but at will. It doesn't activate the moment someone with a quirk touches him. He can activate it at will. When he goes back to kindergarten, everyone is showing off their quirks, and they ask, "What is Deku's quirk?" "Oh, my quirk is capable of nullifying quirks." "Oh, what is that supposed to mean?" And Deku shows it by using it on one of the kids. His quirk is then then neutralized. But then he asks, "Wait, why isn't my quirk working?" "Oh, they said that's a side effect. Side effect of my quirk. You won't be able to use your quirk for exactly like, I think they said for exactly 2 hours." So yeah, I tested on one of the scientists, and they said that their quirk wasn't able to work for 2 hours, so you might need to wait. And the kid says, "Oh, I thought it was like permanent or something." "No, it's not. It's nothing like that." And Bakugo and everyone says, "Wow, that's a really awesome quirk." "Yeah, thanks." And he's kind of surprised that everybody would say that's an awesome quirk. So your quirk is kind of like Eraserhead, who has a quirk that's capable of erasing quirks, taking away up someone's quirk, and fighting them. So pretty much they kind of see him as kind of like a Eraserhead, but not in a kind of like that, but in a different way. Bakugo comes over and says, "Well, your quirk may be good for support, but your quirk isn't really that flashy, is it, Deku?" And Deku knows about this name, Deku. And Bakugo, he uses shows off his explosion quirk. My quirk is very much well suited for fighting, while your quirk is just freaking useless. Just really useless. That's all that's all it is. Deku says no. My quirk may not be able to help me in fighting, but you forget Mr. Eraserhead has a quirk that's kind of like mine. His quirk can erase quirks. So what? I could probably beat him in a fight. No, you can't. And Bakugo will probably get irritated by this, and will practically rush at probably jump at Deku, and probably use his quirk. But Deku grabs his arm, and neutralizes his quirk. And practically like slaps Bakugo in the face. And Deku says, Bakugo, you can't use your quirk to hurt others. You're a bully. You're a villain. And everyone begins to switch their perspective of Bakugo and see him as a villain, because he just attacked Deku out of nowhere. And Bakugo saying, "Hey, don't you dare call me a villain!" And everyone does see Bakugo now as a villain because he attacked just like that. And they practically start calling him a villain. Bakugo still has a superiority thing, self-superiority, thinking he's better. You're all just jealous because I have a better quirk. Ugh. And Bakugo practically storms out of the classroom. Deku knows he should have never said that, but still, it is true. Bakugo wasn't supposed to use his quirk to hurt others. He was only supposed to use his quirk to only help others. Deku believes that everyone's quirk should be used to help others. This inspires everyone in the class to work hard. But Bakugo, he just knows that his quirk is better and way more stronger. So Deku takes acrobatic classes and other things. At first sight, you will know that Deku is very weak, not really strong, but over time they change their perspective of Deku, knowing that he's working really hard, and they decide to transfer him to a karate class. Deku is really well at karate, and they allow him to be transferred to other schools in martial arts. Deku is then invited into martial arts tournaments, which, by the way, everyone could see that he's a really good fighter. He does martial arts with acrobatics, mixing them with acrobatics, and he's really good at fighting. Now that he's got experience in fighting others with that can't use their quirks, he's then invited into a tournament that allow others to not only invite martial artists, but to also allow them to use their quirks as well. Deku is invited. He's actually honored to be here, and in hopes that he can actually give a fight to others as well. He doesn't want to disgrace others, making them believe that Deku threw the fight. In the tournament, Deku does see a few girls who are also in this tournament. See women who are in this tournament along with girls. Then all the other fighters believe that they shouldn't probably beat down a bunch of some women, because they don't actually want to beat them up or make themselves look bad. Deku is nothing like that. Even though they're girls, Deku knows that they can really kick butt. They can really kick butt. So he doesn't underestimate his opponents. He learned this from one of his senseis saying, "Never underestimate your fighter. Either they be a man or a girl, or a woman. Never underestimate your opponents. They can always surprise you." So yeah, the tournament begins. Some of the guys actually threw the fight because they didn't want to fight women, because they didn't want to hurt them. So pretty much this makes all the other girls who are in the tournament pretty mad, because really angry, because just because they're girls doesn't mean they can't fight. And Deku is up, and he's up against a girl named Toga. Deku says, let's have an amazing fight." Deku gets in his fighting stance, and so does Toga, but she is really mad that all the other boys have seen her as only as a girl, but not as a fighter. The fight begins, and Deku is not holding anything back. Toga is also fighting back, and she's also not holding back. She's like a woman in rage. She's like a mosquito, no, like a bee, that if you make her angry, she really will give you the sting of a lifetime. So yeah, Deku and Toga are actually going at it. Deku manages to put a few blows on her. This makes her actually almost collapse. This actually almost make her fall back. Deku still will not hold back. This Deku does not hold back on his opponents, rather they be man or woman. The girls who were invited to this tournament are really surprised that this kid is actually fighting Toga at full force. Deku managed to grab her hand and then lifts her and then throws her on the ground. And Deku says, "Come on, that can't be all you have. That can't be all you got. Get up." And Toga does get up. She does feel a little pain, but she does get up and rushes at Deku. And like I said, in this tournament, you can use her quirk. And she does. She uses her quirk to her quirk allows her to actually increase her strength. To increase her strength and speed. Increase her physical capabilities. And Deku, he's dodging, and then he dodges at first and then neutralizes her quirk by using his quirk No Longer Human. And would say, looks like you can't use your quirk, and he pretty much punches her in the stomach and then and pretty much kicks her on the side. They are still, Toga is then out of the arena, kicked out of the arena by Deku, and she's not actually really mad. She's not actually mad anymore. She's actually really happy she's actually really happy that a man actually saw her as a fighter, but not as just a woman, not as some helpless woman, but as a fighter. Deku says that was a great match, and he pretty much holds out his hand to help her up. So pretty much, Deku is like, so yeah, during the tournament, Deku kicks butt. He doesn't really care. He doesn't like his sensei once said. Like his sensei said to him, never to underestimate your opponent. You know that stuff, and he actually manages to win the entire thing. Toka actually wants to go over and talk to Deku but unfortunately the media actually just try to actually get an interview from Deku, but then Deku is like gone. Finding out that he's gone now, and he's already on his way home on a plane. Well, and then the next day he's back home. Well, at least I can see home from up here in this plane. I can't wait to see how everyone is doing. I wonder, has Bakugo changed or he's still the same? And pretty much the airplane lands and Deku gets off, and he's actually excited to see Bakugo, to see if he's actually changed. But then the sludge villain attack happens. Deku is like in the place, at that place, and he sees Bakugo being attacked by the sludge villain, and he goes over there, rushes over there, and uses his quirk, No Longer Human. Now, the reason why Deku gave his quirk the name No Longer Human is because those who uses their quirk for evil are no longer named human, are no longer deemed human, or something like that. Deku uses his quirk on the sludge villain, and the sludge villain goes pop. No, actually, the sludge villain reverts into his human form. Is reverted back into his human form, and the sludge villain and the human sludge villain is like, what the hell? I'm me again, but how? Did that? No. Holy crap! Wait a minute. This makes me easy to actually capture. Even though the sludge villain has been reverted back to a human, he actually starts running away. But then All Might comes in and says, "I really am useless, am I? Well, in order for me to redeem myself, in order to know that I'm helping, Deku, seeing that this child took you down, come on, sir. Do you really think you should start resisting right now?" All right. Damn it. There's something I could do. I can't use my quirk anymore. What did that kid do to me? I give up. And Sludge Villain, who is in his human form, is now taken to jail. And the media asks, Kid, what is your quirk? How did you do that? My quirk is called No Longer Human, and I can nullify any quirk, either they be emitter or transformation or mutant type. And they're actually surprised by this statement, but then Deku he just sneaks out of the media and would practically start running now. And Deku is now walking back home. Actually, that some of the martial artists saw what Deku did. Seeing what he did is pretty heroic. He did was really heroic. Toka also saw what Deku did. It was actually really, she's actually really happy for Deku for what he did. So, not only he's a martial artist, but he also wants to be a hero. Huh. He actually is a really kind and caring person. And Bakugo, practically this will make everyone know that Deku is actually back home. And Deku is I wonder what happened to everyone. There's a lot of things that have changed. Over the months over a while that I was gone. I wonder. I wonder if Bakugo is okay. I'll talk to him later. I wonder if he even lives in the same place anymore. Then All Might cuts him off, and you know what happens. Even though Deku is a well-skilled fighter, but anyway, this is actually my what if, so yeah, I'm gonna do what I can, and you guys are gonna have to see it through. Gonna have to see it all the way, how Deku progresses in this what if. So yeah, you're gonna have. I'm not gonna say it again. You guys understand me. You guys have to understand that Deku will get one for all, and there will be some other what ifs that Deku will not get one for all. So yeah, let's do this. Deku over the 10 months, he then takes out the trash. All my notes about Deku's quirk, how it's capable of nullifying other quirks, mutant, transformation, or emitter. Doesn't matter. So yeah. So he actually trains Deku to become a bit stronger, and Deku gets the trash out in exactly 4 months. And in exactly 6 months, Deku and All Might are at during the other 6 months, Deku and All Might are actually sparring against one another to get stronger and stronger. Deku is at the peak of fitness. It's actually the peak of being fit, and pretty much Deku is like carrying a 6-pack. All Might wishes Deku good luck. He does give him the quirk one for all. And like I said, Deku can activate his quirk at will. It doesn't have to be by touch. So yeah, Deku is like says, "Thank you, All Might. Don't worry, All Might. I'll pass." Deku walks away with a smile on his face. And heads to the entry ceremony. Deku not only learned martial arts, but he's also really smart like Danzai in a way. He is really smart like Danzai. Not only in fighting, but also in book smarts. Deku does fairly well in the theory exam. Wait a minute. Let's get Deku is in the room, and yeah, President might explain the 3 villains, 3 robot villains, and you know who's there. Ida, he pretty much points out the mistake, and Ida's like says that he's disappointed if UA gives out his mistakes, and the mic reassures him that the 0-pointer is like worth nothing, has no point, which means there's actually nothing that you can gain from it. And yeah, he's sitting right next to Bakugo. Bakugo is like super pissed at seeing Deku, seeing how much he's gotten stronger. And well, Deku isn't actually muttering like usual. Isn't actually muttering like his canon counterpart. He's actually muttering in his head. Yeah, that's right. In his freaking head. And he's giving out that little aura that he's actually talking, that he's actually muttering in his head. Ito doesn't notice this, but still. But he sits back down, not, and pretty much, and Deku does fairly well in the theory exam. Now it's time for, that's right, the mock battle. It's time. Deku is ready. He is prepared for this. Deku has has a staff with him. Has a staff with him. So yeah, Deku is totally gonna rock this. And so yeah, President Mike says, "Go! There are explain. Go! There are no countdowns to a real fight between a hero and a villain. So go, 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 go!" And everyone pretty much rushes into the city. Deku also runs, and he also sees a one pointer, and he completely demolishes it by giving it all his strength and actually cutting off the head. He actually drives his staff in a couple of robots and manages to take them down. Deku is using one for all. Deku is just using one for all in his legs. Deku can use up to, actually, that since Deku actually has been taught by different martial artists and acrobatics and in tournaments, he's actually able to use 100% of one for all. 100% of one for all. So yeah, Deku is like tearing it up, like literally. He's able to use full cowling as well. And yeah, Deku is like destroying all these robots, throwing one robot after another and pushing one robot into another. He's like racking up points like crazy, like a madman possessed. And the 0-pointer comes in. He's also gaining rescue points as well. And Deku sees the 0-pointer, and since it doesn't have any points, Deku begins to walk away. But then he hears someone call for help, and it's Uraraka. And Deku pretty much activates one for all full cowling, spreading it throughout his body, and then jumps and destroys the 0-pointer by punching it. The 0-pointer is then pushed back and then hits his back, and then pretty much begins to explode. Parts of it begins to explode, and Uraraka is saved, and he takes off the rubble off her, and then the exam is the exam is over now. Deku is confident that he got it, that he's going to get in. So yeah, Deku goes home and he's going to be training. So yeah, I'm going to make a what if video of what if Deku had Rashomon, and I'm also going to make a special what if. It's going to be what if Deku had that Pokemon's power, or that Pokemon's power, or this Pokemon's power. So yeah, prepare yourselves for complete, total awesomeness. You guys are gonna love it. It's totally gonna be awesome. And it's gonna be like super cool. So everyone, thank you for watching this What If, and I hope you all have a wonderful time watching it.